What is up, beautiful people? We are back with another review today. I recently finished this book and I really enjoyed the read, so I hope you enjoyed this review. It's Shoe Dog from Phil Knight. And if you've read this book, or after you read this book, you will really fall in love with Nike and Phil Knight. It's a legendary founder and it's a legendary company. They've done so many cool things. You learn so much about both the founder and the company that it's no wonder they succeeded. They're so good. Really enjoyed the read. It is also a very quick read. Only took me like 6-7 hours, and it's a great adventure. There's a lot of, you'll laugh a lot. You'll see some serious situations. There's a bit of sadness in this book as well, but a good 6-7 hours of lessons to be learned here. The book tells you briefly about Phil Knight and this idea of his, which was Nike. The idea was that while he was at Stanford Business School, he wrote a paper about whether the Japanese sporting goods companies can do what to their German competitors what the Japanese film companies did to their German competitors, which was just really demolish them and beat them at price and quality. So this was his hypothesis. He writes this paper on it. He does the presentation on it at Stanford Business School, and he leaves business school and he needs to start something. He needs to do go on a journey, or he has some call to adventure. And he wanted to travel the world. He speaks with his dad, gets the approval, gets some more money for it, finds a friend that joins him on this journey, and they want to travel the world. On the way back to America, he stops in Japan, so he wants to travel around Asia. He remembers his idea and he thinks, let's just meet some Japanese companies and see if someone will supply me these things. And this is in 1962, and he met a company, found them, he got some samples from them, he liked what he got, and then he started importing these shoes, which are Tiger brands. And he was basically just importing Japanese goods and reselling them in America. And that was his hypothesis in the paper. And that's 1962. That's when the company started. And that year he did like $8,000 in sales, which is probably a lot for back then. But now Nike does tens of billions in sales. So it's come a long way. And this book details that journey. It shows you how he always loved to track and field and running, and how he run daily, and that while he was at the University of Portland, he was under Coach Bill Bowerman, which is a key character in the story, how their relationship developed, how they worked together to actually improve these Tiger brand shoes. And it ties really nicely, like the beginning, middle, and end was a great, really well synthesized and cohesive story. Very adventurous, lots of things to learn. Like this guy he was working at so Phil Knight was working at PwC because he needed a normal income, because this company is obviously not making him enough money, and he did that for like 4 years while he still had a wife and kid, and the company's sales were more than doubling every single year. So he's done some crazy stuff, and he's had to endure for a long time, and he talks about that fade or that burnout and all those feelings. It's really a lot of takeaways from this book. If just from a business standpoint, it's great, and then from a story standpoint, it's really amazing. He tells a great story. A lot to learn from him. And what's really great is every year is a chapter in this book. So 1962 is a chapter, and he tells you about how he started Blue Ribbon, which is the name of what Nike was before Nike. And every year since then, into the 60s and 70s, and then the final year in the 1980s, or 1980 when it went public. So that's very cool. Every little chapter has a takeaway, but it still ties back into the grander scheme of things. And it's a crazy story. I mean, the US government's involved in here somewhere, the FBI involved in here, tax authorities, massive lawsuits, so many things that happened that could have ended his whole company and put everything at risk. And he still overcame all of that and he tells you about it in this book. So that's why you should get it. I mean, not even if it was just for the business purpose, you should get it. If it's for the reading purpose, still amazing read. So many great takeaways, really cool insight into who Phil Knight is and what the mindset you need to have to create a great empire like he has. And it just shows you that hard work pays off and that consistency over a very long period of time will win out. So yeah, guys, go get the book, give it a read, enjoy the read, and see what your takeaways are. If you have read the book, write some things in the comments. I'll leave some links either to the book or some resources for additional reading, guys. And yeah, do some difficult stuff, because this is a story about a guy who has done something extremely difficult, and he's detailed it. And so he set some precedent for you. He set some bar that you should try go for. Anyway, enjoy it. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you at the next time.